income tax class. So today is the introduction class of income tax. So before we are starting to income tax, now I am going to clear what is tax, why tax is imposed, why government is imposing tax on the public. So tax means what? Tax means one important sources of revenue for the government. Government need a lot of fund for carrying out the day-to-day activities, because in our country central government has empower and responsible to do all the activity and welfare to the public. For that reason government need a lot of money, and there are several sources of revenue for the government. Tax is a very important source of revenue. So jodi simply kaya what do you mean by tax? Tax means compulsory contribution of money by the public to the government for their income, production, sale, etc. So what is tax? Tax means a compulsory contributions of money by the public to the government for their income, production, sale, etc. Tax is a legal concept. Tax is a legal concept. Tax is a legal concept. That means how much tax should be paid by a people to the government is a legal concept. They will charge the tax according to your income or productions or sales. They will not charge a single rupees which is not required. According to the rules, the public need to pay the tax. The person who will pay the tax is called SSC. SSC, the persons who will pay the tax or who is paying the tax is called SSC. Clear? The SSC will pay the tax to the government according to the rules specified by the government. Without rule, no need to pay tax. So, tax is a very important source of revenue for government. Government need a lot of money to carry out the activity of a country, like health, education, transportation, defense. All those activities which are carried by the government needs huge money, and the central government need money to carry out all those activities. For that activity, a lot of money are required. There are many sources of revenue for the government, like tax, railway is a source, government company, the revenue of the government companies is a source, stamp duty is a source, what road permit tax we are paying, that is a source. So a lot of sources of revenue are there for the government, and among all other sources, tax is a very important source, and from the tax more than 50% are of revenue are collected by the government from the public, and these revenue can be utilized for the public benefit only. That means there is a cyclic way of transferring money from the public and government. There are many sources from which money can transfer from public to government. Money can transfer from public to government, very important source is tax. There are many sources, but the important sources is tax. By tax, the money can be flow from the public to the government, and government, the money will flow from government to public due to many activity which are welfare for the community or the society, like education, स्कूल कॉलेज फ्रीक्वेंटली से पेमेंट पाउछते गवर्नमेंट स्कूल और गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज चलची एजुकेशन पाई प्राइमरी एजुकेशन को हायर एजुकेशन पाई पैसा खर्च होची हेल्थ गवर्नमेंट मेडिकल में पैसा आछी डिफेंस डिफेंस पाई पैसा खर्च होची मनी ट्रांसपोर्टेशन like many activities are doing by the government for which reasons the government money can be passing from the government to the public welfare fund. So the money are flowing in a cyclic manner, public from public to the government and government to the public welfare. So tax is need to be paid. It is a legal concept. There is no illegal. The government is collecting tax according to rule. Without rule, government will not collect a single rupee from the public. And it is a compulsory. There is no option. Then two types of taxes are imposed by the government to the public. Two types of tax are imposed. That is direct tax and indirect tax. There are two types of taxes are imposed by the government, the public, that is direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax and indirect tax. Clear? What do you mean by direct tax? Direct tax means the tax, direct tax means the tax which is imposed and collected. The tax which is imposed and collected from one person is called direct tax. The tax which is imposed and collected from the same persons. For example, income tax. For example, income tax. So, income tax is a tax which is imposed and collected from the same persons. Mr. X is getting the income. Mr. X is getting the income. Mr. X income is rupees 6 lakh. Mr. X income is rupees 6 lakh. So, therefore, Mr. X will pay the tax to the government. That means what? Direct tax. Direct tax is the tax which is imposed and collected from the same persons. For example, income tax. Income tax means what? Tax is imposed on income of a particular person. Tax is imposed on income of a particular person. Mr. X income is rupees 6 lakh. Mr. X's income is rupees 6 lakh. So Mr. X will pay tax to the government. How much tax will pay? We will discuss later on. So why it is called direct tax? Because tax is imposed on Mr. X, tax is charged on Mr. X, and tax is collected from the Mr. X only. So tax is charged and collected from the same person. So this is called direct tax. Nowadays, only income tax will come under direct tax. Only income tax will come under direct tax. Taapore ami dekhiba indirect tax. Indirect tax. What do you mean by indirect tax? Tax which is imposed on one person and collected from another person. The tax which is imposed or charged on one person and collected from some other person. Indirect tax means the tax which is charged on some person and collected from some other persons. This is not like a direct tax. For example, GST, goods and service tax. For example, GST, goods and service tax, and custom duty. And custom duty. So nowadays only two types of indirect taxes are there, that is GST and custom duty. GST means goods and service tax. Custom duty means the tax which is imposed on import or export of goods and services. So GST and custom duty, these two are the examples of indirect taxes. So how GST is imposed? Normally GST are charged on final consumer. GST are collected from producer, comma, seller, etc. So indirect tax, GST and custom duty both are same. GST, you can write here indirect tax. GST no problem. See, indirect tax means the tax which is imposed on some persons and collected from another person. When you people are going to buy a mobile phone, then one bill or receipt you will get invoice, sale invoice you will get. In that sale invoice, total amount is 10,000. The cost of the mobile is 10,000, but this is written of cost 8,000, GST 2,000, total 10,000. So whenever the customer buys any product or services, the indirect taxes, which is GST or custom duty, will charge upon the customer only. The customer need to pay the indirect tax. Finally, the burden of tax is on the customer, but the tax government is not collected from the customer. ଯେତେବେଳେ ପିଲାମାନେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ମୋବାଇଲ କିଣୁଛେ, ଆମେ 10,000 କାହାକୁ ଦେଇ ଦଉଛେ? ଦୋକାନ ବାଲାକୁ। ଦୋକାନ ବାଲା କଣ କରୁଛି? ତା ପଇସା ସିଏ ରଖୁଛି, ବାକି ଟ୍ୟାକ୍ସ ଏମାଉଣ୍ଟଟା ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟକୁ ପେ କରୁଛି। प्रोडक्शन वाला टाइम में से जीएसटी दोची, से जीएसटी टा कोन सेल प्राइस में मिसी दोची टा डीलर ग्रुप पड़ाउची। दैट मींस तमे जीएसटी पढ़ा टाइम में पछे पढ़िबो। दैट मींस इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस कोन पड़ाउची? द बर्डन ऑफ पेइंग द टैक्स इज ऑन द कस्टमर्स। द टैक्स इज चार्ज ऑन द कस्टमर, but it is collected by the government from the producer, seller, dealer, etc., but not directly from the customers. आमे जेतला मोबाइल किनुचे 10,000 देके तार टैक्स पय 2,000 टका दोचे, कॉस्ट पय 8,000 टका दोचे। टैक्स ता आमे ने की गवर्नमेंट को दोने, आमे दुकान वाला को दोचे, दुकान वाला ने की गवर्नमेंट को दोचे। That means indirect tax is a tax which is charged upon one person and collected from some other person. That's why that is called indirect taxes also. So now we will discuss regarding the difference between direct tax and indirect tax. Difference between direct tax and indirect tax. Difference between direct tax and indirect tax. direct tax, indirect tax. The difference between direct tax and indirect tax. Direct tax, direct tax is levied and collected from same person. Indirect tax, indirect tax levied and collected from two different persons. Two different persons. I already discussed regarding this point. In case of direct tax, the tax is charged and collected from the same person. Levied means charged or imposed. Levied means charged or imposed. So direct tax is charged and collected from the same person who is called as SSC. The person who is paying the tax is called SSC. But in case of indirect tax, tax is levied upon some persons and collected from some another persons. Like always indirect tax are levied on the customers or final consumer, but it is collected from the producer, seller, dealer, manufacturer, etc. The first point. Then in second point, the burden of tax will not shift. The burden of tax will not shift. That means what? Burden means in case of direct tax or income tax, the tax is charged upon the Mr. X who is called as SSC and Mr. X is need to pay the tax. So burden is not passed. The burden is upon the same person. So the burden of tax will not shift. The burden of tax will not shift. The persons to whom the tax will charge, that person only need to pay the tax. But in case of indirect taxes, the burden of tax is shifted from one person to another person. Clear? In case of indirect taxes, the tax is imposed upon the consumer but collected from the producer. First, the tax will be collected from the producers. The producer will pay the tax and then the producer will collect the tax from the wholesaler. Then the wholesaler will collect the tax from the retailer. Then the retailer will collect the tax from the customers. So the burden of tax is shifted from one person to another person. मने करो पिलाने एग्जांपल देखो यार एग्जांपल कोन x होची प्रोड्यूसर्स x प्रोडक्शन कला 1000 टका जिनसटा तापर तापर जीएसटी पड़ला मने करो जीएसटी 10% मने पड़ला तो 1000 10% 100 रुपीस तो हे गला केते 1100 क्लियर ता माने से कोन कला टोटल जिनस रे 1000 प्रोडक्शन कला 100 गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स देला तो से एरा उतर कॉस्ट प्लस प्रॉफिट 1000 प्लस गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स देला से बिकला 1100 दैट मींस से 1000 टका बिकयो चाहला मिस्टर एक्स 1000 टका बिकयो चाहला कि गवर्नमेंट ता पे टैक्स पकेला नॉर्मली मिस्टर एक्स 1000 टका बिकयो चाहला गवर्नमेंट 1000 टैक्स पकेला ता माने से कोन वाला एक्स है मिस्टर वाई को बिकला 1100 टका तो मिस्टर वाई कोन वाला ए टैक्स पैसा के देला मिस्टर वाई एबे मिस्टर वाई कोन वाला मिस्टर जेड को बिकला केते रे बिकला ना 1150 रे काहे 1150 रे बिकला ना 1100 रे किछि 50 ना टैक्स ए 50 ना प्रॉफिट तारो 50 प्रॉफिट में से 1150 रे बिकला जदि 1150 बिकला त माने एथे 100 ना टैक्स में से से टैक्स का पड़ला जेड पाको that means like that the burden of tax is shifted from one person to another person. Tax first producer ऊपर पड़े producer से tax product को पास कर दे wholesaler पाको wholesaler retailer पाको retailer consumer पाको finally tax indirect tax दिए किए consumer दिए बा customer दिए बट डायरेक्टली कस्टमर टू गवर्नमेंट कलेक्ट करेनी गवर्नमेंट किसी पैसा प्रोड्यूसर टू कस्ट कलेक्ट करे आउ किसी पैसा होलसेल टू कलेक्ट करे आउ किसी पैसा रिटेलर टू कलेक्ट करे किंतु गवर्नमेंट केबे भी कस्टमर टू डायरेक्टली पैसा कलेक्ट करे नाही सेहि पई शिफ्टिंग ऑफ बर्डन होची So, in case of direct taxes, the burden of tax will not shift, but in case of indirect tax, the burden of tax is shifted from one person to another person. Then, next, it is progressive in nature. Progressive in nature. It is regressive. Regressive in nature. What do you mean by progressive and regressive? Progressive in nature means when income rises, the tax burden is also rises. Progressive means by increase in income, the income tax will also the increase. Direct tax रे जते अधिक इनकम करिवो सेते अधिक टैक्स दे देजिबा जदि इनकम कम करबा ताहले हमको टैक्स दबा को पड़िबो नाही तो टैक्स इज डिपेंड अपॉन द इनकम ऑफ ए पर्सन दैट्स व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड प्रोग्रेसिव जते इनकम बढ़िबो सेते टैक्स बढ़ि जिवो जे जते अधिक इनकम करबो से सब अधिक टैक्स दबो सेति हम कहते प्रोग्रेसिव ड्यू टू इंक्रीज इन द इनकम टैक्स विल आल्सो इंक्रीज दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज कॉल्ड प्रोग्रेसिव इट इज रिग्रेसिव इन नेचर दैट मींस दिस इज नॉट डिपेंड अपॉन इनकम बढ़ले भी कि कमिले भी हमको टैक्स कम भी अधिक होबा नाही इन केस ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस व्हेन the total income of a person is below from the basic limit then no need to pay tax nowadays for an individual 2,50,000 the limit जल्दी गोटे लोकर इनकम 2,50,000 रु कम होला ताले ताको कोनोसे टैक्स देबाको पड़िबो डायरेक्ट टैक्स रे किंतु इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स समस्त होउछथि गरीब भी दिए धनी भी दिए मेडिसिन ऊपर डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस पड़े तो मेडिसिन धनी लोक किनला ता ऊपर भी टैक्स नैछि गवर्नमेंट जदि गरीब लोक मेडिसिन किनला ता ऊपर भी टैक्स नैछि प्रत्येक जिंस मैन्युफैक्चर सेल हेले ता ऊपर इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन पड़े जे कोन जिंस हमें फूड आइटम आरंभ करके गोल्ड पर्यंत लग्जरी कार मोबाइल ड्रेसेस व्हाटएवर यू आर परचेजिंग nowadays everything indirect taxes are imposed on the goods and services so indirect taxes are paid by all the persons in the country so it is regressive in nature irrespective of income all will need to pay the same amount of tax गोटे धनी लोक पय जहा टैक्स गोटे गरीब लोक पय ताहा टैक्स इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस ता समस्त में समान किंतु डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस ता डिपेंड ऑन द इनकम जदि इनकम अधिक होची ताले टैक्स अधिक पड़िबो इनकम न होची टैक्स पड़िबो नाही सही भाई आमे डायरेक्ट टैक्स को प्रोग्रेसिव इन नेचर इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स को रिग्रेसिव इन नेचर देन direct tax is paid at the end of the year. Direct tax is paid at the end of the year after calculating total income. Direct tax is paid at the end of the year after calculating the total income. गोटे पर्टिकुलर फाइनेंशियल ईयर सरला परे आमे टैक्स दियंती माने करो फाइनेंशियल ईयर 2019-20 माने मन 1/4/2019 1/4/2019 to 31st March 2020 this is called financial year 1/4/2019 to 31st March 2020 the income of this period will be assessed and the tax will be paid from 1/4/2020 to 31st March 2021. Clear? In case of direct tax, the income of a particular year is calculated in the next year because गोटे लोकर वर्ष रे केते इनकम के जणा पड़िबो ता नेक्स्ट ईयर का जणा पड़िबो काहे ना 31st March 2020 रे भी किछ इनकम आस्तिबो बिजनेसमैन मार में प्रतिदिन इनकम आसे 31st March 2020 रे भी किछ सेल हेतिबो किछ इनकम आसीबो ता माने वर्ष कंप्लीट होला पूर्व हम एक्जेक्टली टैक्स कैलकुलेट करि परिबा नाही सेटा हम काम करिबा वर्ष सरला वर्ष रे किछ टैक्स दबानी पूरा वर्ष सरले नेक्स्ट ईयर रे पूरा वर्ष रे टैक्स दबा तो आमे 1/4/2019 रु 31/3/2020 ए वर्ष रे टैक्स जोटा हम कहू प्रीवियस ईयर टैक्स हम केबे दबा ता नेक्स्ट ईयर जोटा कहू हम असेसमेंट ईयर that means direct tax is paid at the end of the year, and year end होला माने हमको टैक्स एसेस हबो, टैक्स पेड करियो पड़िबो 1/4/2019 रु 31/3/2020 हम जेती पैसा इनकम करबा ता ऊपर हम टैक्स केबे दबा ता नेक्स्ट ईयर 1/4/2020 रु 31/3/2021 भितर हम टैक्स दबा जो वर्षर इनकम होला सेटा बुझले प्रीवियस ईयर, जो वर्ष टैक्स दबा सेटा बुझले हम assessment year. So direct tax is paid at the end of the year after calculating the total income. Clear? Indirect tax is paid daily basis. In case of indirect taxes, the government will not wait till the end of the year to collect tax. The day when salesmen need to pay the tax. So, in case of direct tax, tax are paid at the end of the year, but in case of indirect tax, tax is paid on daily basis or regular interval basis. The government will not wait till the end of the year to collect tax. Clear? Next example. Income tax. Income tax is the direct tax. Nowadays only one direct tax is there, that is income tax. केवल इनकम टैक्स होची तमरो डायरेक्ट टैक्स जोडा कि तमरो इनकम ऊपर टैक्स पड़े आ जोडा कि जा ऊपर टैक्स पड़े से का टैक्स पेमेंट करे जोडा हम होचे डायरेक्ट टैक्स। इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स फॉर एग्जांपल होची जीएसटी गुड्स एंड सर्विस टैक्स एंड कस्टम ड्यूटी। क्लियर? दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन डायरेक्ट टैक्स एंड इनडायरेक्ट टैक्स, प्लीज नोट इट डाउन। ओके पिले माने आज पे एतिक थाओ, नेक्स्ट क्लास रे आगु पढिबा। आज हम केवल बेसिक कांसेप्ट देखले व्हाट डू मीन बाय टैक्स, टैक्स किए दिए का को दिए, केते प्रकार टैक्स अछि, टैक्स कोन केमिति होउची, टैक्स काहे की गवर्नमेंट कलेक्ट करे, काहे की पब्लिक टैक्स दियंती, से सब आज डिस्कशन करले। ध्यान सहित देखिबो ता सहित नोट पे मेंटेन करिवो। थैंक यू वेरी मच।